what I mean? And if you're smart, you live off of one, income and then save the other one. And this guy specifically, I think he got up to like 300,000 and then was able to kind of invest some of that money into like an Airbnb. All right, all right. Okay, so this is the second time. This is time. What is it? Try number
Take
two,
two.
whatever. Yeah, take two. We're back. Episode 6 for the Sauce Pod, and yeah. So here we are. Here we are. Today's Friday, as usual. We'd like to do these on Fridays because it kind of gets the week out of the way, and then this is kind of something fun for us to do, and then we have a few things that we like to talk about. So thanks for joining. Again, if you want to hear us talk about other things, feel free to put them in the comments, like and subscribe because of the algorithm stuff. No one really knows what that means, right? And just point, do that, kind of do one of those. But yeah, man. I do have like one thing that our unofficial unofficial mentor told us, Sam Parr, and so I'll just dive into it. I'm like nervous because of the internet, so I'm like I don't mean to rush, but I'm just like, let's just hurry up and get this. But slow down. All right, here we go. So there's this overemployment that's been going on. And I just recently heard this. I say recently, within the last maybe 3 or 4 months, I've been hearing about this overemployment. And before I kind of dive into this, I'll like kind of let you know what I know. And there's this one guy, and what I'm seeing is that a lot of it is in the engineering space, which is
software developers and stuff.
Software developer, right? Which is really cool because I really like coding and stuff. I might pick that up as a hobby later on down the road, but yeah, so there's this one guy, he's on YouTube, and he essentially had 2 jobs. It didn't last for very long, maybe 8 months. And that's kind of the going thing that I see, or the trend, is that it's not real sustainable. But if you can do it within a few months, 6 months to a year, you'll be able to acquire, get some money. You know what I mean? And if you're smart, you live off of one, income and then save the other one. And this guy specifically, I think he got up to like 300,000 and then was able to kind of invest some of that money into like an Airbnb in Joshua Tree. And so I've never been to Joshua Tree, but I've always heard good things about it. And so I can imagine that Airbnb is probably doing really good. And then the fact that this is kind of like a known thing now, his YouTube kind of blew up off of it too. So I assume he's doing pretty good on YouTube. And then there's a couple of other ones out there. But another one real quick, one guy apparently had 5 jobs, and he was bringing in 1.2 million for 5 jobs, right? Like, I mean, who are we talking about? Elon Musk? Was that Elon? I don't know who else could handle 5 jobs, but so Sam Parr from My First Million, here on Twitter, he says I've met a few people in the past week. I met a few people in the past week who have multiple jobs. Example, engineer at Facebook, and late stage startup, 500 employees. Can't decide if I think this is a piece of shit move or not. And that's kind of like, when I read that, I was like, oh shit, like he's kind of like a punchy like piece of shit move. I was like, oh shit, okay. He goes, on one hand, it's dishonest and feels sleazy. But if someone can do adequate work, does it matter? And also, this could open up so much more productivity. Many tech jobs are bullshit and take only a few hours in a day. So can more companies be made this way? And so kind of wanted to open the floor up for you and see what you think.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I think he does a good job in the tweet of like being punchy and kind of evoking emotion. And that's it, right? To get people to comment on it. So good job, little marketing thing there. And then, but then he does, what I also appreciate is I do this too, where you like see both sides of the story. And I think that's really important to see, like, obviously if you're hiring somebody and then you find out they're working another job along yours, that's a pretty tough pill to swallow. And then but then on the overemployment side, if you're doing the job and you're working 2 jobs and it's working out, you're like, hey, I'm working and doing the job, what I'm asked, for both of these jobs and completing my tasks, then why does it matter? And so, I honestly wrestled that same, I'll say, like, you first kind of shot me a YouTube video like, hey, check this out. These people have like 2 jobs. They're making like 300K plus, between both jobs. And I was just like, oh my God, new concept. This is insane. Like, good for them, And then, so I was on that side, like, hey, go for it. And then I think we faced the other side for a bit with like our own company, where it was like, oh, we learned one of our graphic designers was also working for like other people when, we were under the impression that, she was working for us, what we considered full time, but it's not like 100% of your time, I guess is how I look at it these days. It's like, no, it's just like, here's what we would consider like a full-time workload. And then if you're able to get it done in less time, then, hey, as long as you're doing what we ask of you, I think you're a great worker, you're a great person, you're great all around. So it's like, I have no complaints now. Like, so, yeah.
That's kind of, like, I mean, I'm kind of with the, I guess, it is dishonest, but I mean, I don't know. I lean more towards the adequate work. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if you can't perform, like if you can't get the work done, then it becomes an issue. But I don't know. I don't know why I feel a little. I feel more. I don't know. Maybe if I read the comments here, it might open up my perspective on it. But yeah, like kind of the knowledge that I know now, I think it's kind of neat. You know what I mean? And then especially because I mean, I don't really see people doing this like ongoing. Like I heard this one guy actually had, when he had 2 jobs, it was a different one, but he had a computer for one company and a computer for another company, and he just basically would like play musical chairs, like when he would have meetings. So he would just sit on this side and have a meeting, and then when he was done with that one, have this one over here. But there's like a whole thing out there, like if you have meetings at the same time, like how to get out of at least one of them kind of thing. Like there's like a whole like art and science behind it, which is kind of interesting. But I don't know, like I also think of like people, fortunately I didn't go to college. And so like I don't have that all that burden of the money, the student loans. And so
Sure.
I kind of feel for some people that are like, let's say, have student loans and they're kind of like pretty high, right? And then they get this opportunity. They're good at what they do. They perform adequate work or maybe even better. And then they're able to kind of close down or really just pay off their student loans, and then maybe go back to just having one job. You know what I mean? But I feel like, you know what I mean? I feel like the use of it could also mean a lot too. Like, if you're just trying to make more money to do like weird shit, you know what I mean? Like negative shit for whatever. I don't even know what to think of, but I think that if you're smart with it, if you're trying to get out of debt, is probably pretty cool, pretty helpful. And then maybe invest, you know what I mean? So I think this guy in particular was like more in the design stuff. So,
Yeah. I think the tension comes from like this older adage of like, when you work for a company, you're supposed to kind of like go over and above what the expectations are so you can climb the ranks and get promotions and all of these things. But we're talking about like software developers that are probably in the top of their field, which is why they're getting hired. And where else are they going to go outside of creating their own SaaS company, which has a huge like, risk to reward potential? Like so it's just like, why would I risk the next 10 years of my life for a software company that may go nowhere, rather than go over here and take $250,000 jobs and just like stack cash for, a year or whatever. And it's like, yeah, I'm still doing my job. Like, so I don't, what over and above do you want me to do? I'm not a software developer, so it's hard for me to talk, or even a designer for that matter. So, but yeah, it's just kind of like, well, we have people in place to do the things that need to be done. And so what else am I expecting anything more from this person? Well, then, let them know and pay them more, I guess, like,
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing. And I even think like, even being in a position of, um, you know, kind of like in our position, you know what I mean? We're an early startup, you know what I mean? And I was talking to Chase Diamond. He's um, kind of our mentor kind of person, someone that we look to, get advice. And, I had mentioned something to him and, trying to have a company, email marketing agency, but then also working for like another email marketing agency is cool. We almost had a really cool opportunity to work for one of them, but it didn't necessarily go through. And I think that could be because we have our own agency. But then Chase was saying like just do some freelance on the side, you know what I mean? And so I kind of like that, like depending on your skill, what you do for your company, if if you want to do some back end stuff, like that's what I was mentioning, like coding, I mean, coding on the side, if you enjoy it, like go in there and grab a couple jobs. I think as long as it doesn't interfere with like what you're really mainly trying to do, I think at the end of the day, it's cool. I'm going through planning a wedding and it's pretty stressful. And so, any little bit kind of helps. And so like, that's kind of, my current pain right now is, so if I can, find, if I, 150 a year and then find another job, 100, that's just insane. Like I would feel like I need to, and that's where I think the student loans come in. Right. But for me, I don't have student loans. I'm pretty frugal. I live off really, really low means. And so, I necessarily wouldn't even need two jobs if I was making that kind of money. You know what I mean? So, but nonetheless, we'll see. We'll see how it kind of plays out. I'm interested in some of these comments, but it was just something that I'm kind of interested in, and just kind of keeping a pulse on it, really.
I think it's a net positive, like a net benefit for everybody, because one, like, it requires the company to be more clear on the expectations, and like two, it like limits the meetings. Like, a lot of meetings are just a waste of time anyway. Most people would tell you that. And so it's like, I think one of the things that you showed me was like, these people have two computers, and if they have conflicting meetings, it was like, well, do I really need to be on this meeting? Like, let me, like, give me the cliff notes. Like, let me know what the meeting is all about, and I'll tell you if I really need to be on the meeting. Like, do I need to sit there for an hour and just hear y'all talk about these things? Or can you just, send me a little bit of a recap, send me the minutes on it, and I'll have a robot transcribe it into my brain for me, Matrix style, and then I'll be good. So I do think, it enables everyone to be more efficient and productive with their time. So I think, the company was going to spend the money anyway to get that kind of hired help. So it seems like you got it. So you got mission accomplished on both ends. And so hooray,
Yeah, right. No, that's cool. That's a good way to look at it. No, but I think it's cool. And, I'm definitely seeing it really play into like the software engineer role. So I don't know, because I do remember them mentioning that particular role is like, you kind of have like you don't really have that many meetings when you're in that type of role. And I could be wrong, but this is just kind of what I'm hearing. But like, I would just imagine it's like, cool, you have like a stand up at the beginning of the week, and then it's like, you follow your project management system, and it's like, you got like a handful of bugs or whatever the case may be, and you just go and knock them out. Like, okay, boom, boom, boom. And so there's really, I just don't see a whole lot of meetings when it comes to that. But I know, we have a lot of meetings. We try and keep them kind of, not too crazy, but yeah, like you said, like some meetings get are kind of unneeded, you know what I mean? And so we're, trying to keep control of that too. So,
who's really probably pissed off about it though? Like, this is kind of a funny jab, is like micromanager types, they just want to like they spend most of their time just like, okay, is he on Slack? Is he working?
Yep.
Let me look at his timesheet on stuff
Yep.
like that.
What time
It's
did he
like,
get on today?
hey,
Yeah.
right. I mean, all of us, I think we work like almost around the clock. I mean, there's some days where I get up at like fucking 4:30. I just like, well, okay, I'm awake. Well, I guess
Yep.
I'm going to go like,
Do some shit.
do some work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and
Yep.
so, and even like some of these entrepreneurs I see, like, they have these big revelations when they're like, man, I mix doing really deep work, and then I'll get up for like half an hour and go play some Super Smash Brothers or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, this is so cool. You're getting your work done, and then you're
Yeah.
also have time for fun and creativity, and
Exactly.
not to neglect the work, but to have a break from it.
Exactly.
So I think overall, the people that are doing the right things are the ones who are, we're all benefiting from it because we like doing the work. We're going to do the work regardless, but now we're being more rewarded for it. We don't have to like clock in and clock out for it. We can just do it in our own time and probably arguably faster, and more efficiently than we would have
I
in
agree.
a 9 to 5 scenario kind of thing.
Yep. Yeah, we always like to say like go surfing in the mornings, you know what I mean? Like and it's more like not necessarily like literally going surfing, although it can be, but it's like go surfing in the morning. What is your surfing? You know what I mean? It could just be like sitting outside under a tree, drinking some coffee, could be surfing, you know what I mean? It could go riding a dirt bike or whatever, just having that that's kind of that freedom because I know creativity and just work is a lot, and life is heavy in general, you know what I mean? And so like you said, if you can go and crush 3 hours of deep work and then chill out, go play, like you said, go play some video games if that's something you're into, go read a book or go surf, whatever. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I had a couple more tangents that came up, but if we want, we can. Now that we're on the topic of software, we can pivot to the softwares.
Yeah, definitely. You were mentioning that. That sounds cool. We can dive into that.
Yeah, so I was basically just I came up with like a quick list, and maybe we can find some other ones too that just come to mind during this process. But a quick list of what I called like cheap softwares that give you outsized returns.
Cool.
So I'm just gonna maybe read one by one, and we'll just kind of riff on each one.
Okay.
So the first one is Loom, and they actually just came out with one of the features that I've been waiting for a while, which is the ability to like blur out sensitive information as you're recording.
Oh, cool.
But such a cool software. We pay $10 a month for this software. It's actually free if you record a video that's less than 5 minutes. As of this recording, at least. We'll see how that changes. But yeah, I mean, you could do so much with Loom, and it's $10 a month. It's crazy.
Yeah, and like you said, it's free with certain limitations. But even like I know I hear a lot of people using Loom for sales outreach, and so if you can, unlimited, you know what I mean? Like if you keep it under 5 minutes for free, you have 2-3 minute videos doing sales outreach. I know it's really awesome to do like audits for our clients. And so like I'll do like a Klaviyo audit behind the scenes on their email marketing. And, it allows me to be able to, get in there. And then, I can, make it, because we're paying for it. So I can go, past the 5 minutes. And so I can really, go deep into it. So there's a bug. But, and then like if it's just not a good fit, they have that valuable asset that they could take and then maybe either implement it themselves or hire somebody that's a little more aligned with what they're looking for. So, but overall, yeah, I think Loom is sweet, and I love that feature that you just mentioned. I was waiting on it, but that's cool. That's awesome.
And then on the business side, you can record like standard operating procedures in video, or if one of your contractors, workers, whatever, even your clients have an issue, we don't have to hop on a call. I can shoot you a quick Loom video, and you can fix the issue, troubleshoot in your own time, whatever. So again, more of that like time efficiency thing. Like we don't have to try and sync up and show you all these things. I'll shoot you a video. You have it for the rest of your life if that issue comes back up again.
Right.
So
kind of like the meetings we were talking about. Like we can do a report meeting, do a Loom instead of the meeting, right? I still think like some meetings are okay, but not like, maybe not every week, you know what I mean? But if it's like, a quick overview, weekly overview, go ahead and just send a few minute Loom, 3-4 minute Loom over the reports. And I think, you should be good to go. And it's real cool is like on the sales side, you can do that embed where it actually embeds like a GIF of the email or of the video. And so you can get really carried away or really clever with it, where when you first start the video, you take a red pen and you like make an arrow and then circle something. So then in the email, they see that GIF of their website and there's like a red mark and you circling something. So that's like more enticing for them to click that video. And obviously you can't have videos and emails, but they're like, what the heck is he circling red on my website? And then they actually click through, and so your click-through rate could go higher with that. So
that's a cool little hack. Mine have just been like, I'm kind of like off to the side of the camera, and then I'll come into this side of the camera, so it just looks like I'm bobbing.
Oh,
the GIF is just me going like this.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Look like I'm dancing for him, but
yeah. You should A/B test either Bob or red mark. You know what I mean? See what the Bob does, and then do like a red mark. That'd be kind of
cool. The next one we got is Canva, a little bit of a design software.
Canva's the new, in my opinion, Canva's going to be the new Shopify, or not Shopify, but what is it? Photoshop. Yeah, Photoshop killer. I feel like a lot. I know our designer. She uses Canva, and she's pretty dangerous with it. So, again, there's like some limits with the free version, but and I don't think it's real expensive with the paid version.
You pay $15 a month, so it's
$15 a month.
I went in there and made like a YouTube thumbnail, and I was actually blown away how insanely easy it was to make a YouTube thumbnail. So
right. I mean, yeah, like. Just imagine if you actually had because I know I can speak for myself. I'm not really into design. I feel like my brain wants to, but I feel like it's just another shiny object syndrome. But I think if someone were to literally be in design, like an actual designer, and then go into, I think the learning curve is a lot better.
Oh,
yeah. You know what I mean? I feel like you could watch a couple YouTube videos, learn the components and how Canva works. And then on top of already having some design, inspiration, design creativity, design eye, you should be good. Especially nowadays, man. You can be a designer for just about anything. You could literally make a career off of being like a YouTube thumbnail designer and just use Canva. You know what I mean? And be that specific, so then people reach out to you and it's like, yeah, I'm the guy that does the YouTube thumbnails. Come at me, bro. I got this shit. You know what I mean? You're
what? Another crazy job I just heard about from a friend. I'm not really in this space, but I just thought it was super cool. Jobs for anything. It's Snoop Dogg has a full-time, specific person that just rolls his blunts.
Dude,
isn't that crazy? And he had I want to dig into this more because someone just told me. I was like, well, this is insane. This is amazing. But apparently they had a competition. It's a girl who won, but they had a competition where all these people are doing it. And apparently she had a cool creative hack for, something. And so, yeah, that's literally what she does. I'm just like,
dude, that's insane. That reminds me, and I would probably need to fact check this, but I'll go ahead and just say it because that's I think I saw it somewhere. But Post Malone actually has a buddy that he pays $1,000 a day to be his bong guy, like beer bong guy,
just to hold it up for him,
just to get it ready for him. It's hey, beer bong. I'm sure he does other things for $1,000 a day, but we're talking about Post Malone here. He's very, very, very wealthy nowadays. But yeah, I heard that he's he kind of said it in one of his interviews, kind of I think he had already had a couple beers, and he's like, "Yeah, this is like Jimmy. He's the bong guy. Paying he makes like $1,000 a day, just like giving me bongs all day." It's like, holy shit, dude.
Well, that's hard, dude. I don't know
Right?
how he does that.
And he's like our age, he's in his 30s. Like, I can't imagine. He's like smoking cigarettes. He's like drinking Bud Light all the time, and like he still like performs, man. Maybe I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah, that's wild.
But
All right,
but yeah.
next one. Let's see. I'm gonna go to a little bit of a favorite of ours is Notion.
Ooh, yeah, Notion is good.
Tell me how you really feel.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I paused because like I didn't want to cut you off because I didn't know if you had like kind of like a back end on explaining it because I didn't
Okay.
I didn't want to cut you off, but I was
Sure. Yeah, I guess that'd probably be a good idea.
good.
Yeah. What is
Right.
Notion? How would you
Notion
describe it?
Notion is just like, I don't know. It's like a system for systems. It's like a project. I mean, it's like you can take notes in there and then like make databases, and then you can create a project management system. You can communicate with your team inside of there. You can make like client portals. You
It's like,
can.
what can you not do, right?
That's the question, is like, what can you not do? And what is their slogan like on Notion? It's like the workplace for everything or something like that. Like
That's a good question. What is it? I know ClickUps was like one app to replace them all. That was like their mission.
one app to replace. So Notions is one workspace every team. It says Notion is a workspace that adapts to your team, to your needs. It's as minimal or as powerful as you need it. There's this director. Notion continues to be the easiest way to get information, centralize something somewhere, and shout. Oh, yeah, no. That's another thing, is with the whole like customer portal. It's like centralizes everything in one area. You know what I mean? Because we were having like, it's nice to be able to have everything like live under that one roof, and that's why I like it, because we'll have like a when we build in emails for clients, it's just like everything lives in there. So like the strategy, we'll have the creative brief, and then I can send it to you for copy, and then like that same card just goes through the entire team, and it's just always that same card. So it's not two different things or four different things. It's not like the copy's over here. Oh, where's the design? Oh, it's over here in this thing. Oh, the strategy's over here. You know what I mean? Nah, fuck that. Oh, everything is there, centralized. And then, you've built a jam up, project manager system in there, and we're crushing it. And so it's really nice. I love Notion, and it's like a couple bucks a month.
Yeah, right. I don't even know. It's not very expensive though. I think it's maybe like $12 per person,
Okay.
So it's not that bad.
Right. Yeah.
Again, something that can be free too, depending on what level you want to use it. But it's so many. There's so many things you can do with it. I mean, I track my finances in it now. I was tracking like some of my trading activity in there, but kind of moved on to a more specific. But yeah, even a CRM, we built like pipe drive. We built like a little mini pipe drive in there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So it's just cool. Yeah. There's so many good things you can do with that one.
And I love the whole other side of it, is that there's people. This is like kind of goes into kind of my thing about. I've always called it business in a backpack, and like learning, like picking a software and owning it, and then getting on to a freelance website and like becoming the expert in that position. Dude, there's like a lot of people doing really well, like a one-person job company bringing in over 100,000 a year, being like a Notion consultant, Notion expert, selling templates, like, and then they're using like Twitter as like a distribution channel to kind of build it up. That's solid, man. That's like super cool. If that's something that you're into, but there's so many other opportunities, but I like
Yeah,
that
but I
side of it
love
too.
that business in a backpack. I just always thought that was such the coolest concept. Like,
I love it. Yeah.
there's really not any excuse these days if you hate your full time job and you want to do something on the side. Like, you like designing, but right now
Yeah.
you're like a customer service person, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like whenever you get out of your job, like go learn Canva in 30 seconds, watch some YouTube videos
Dude. Yeah.
and then go get on Upwork or Fiverr or whatever.
Yep.
And you could easily pull in, a couple grand a month, just like helping people
Yep.
out with doing designs and stuff. So you never know where that's going to take you to. So,
Dude, I love it. I love it. I know my buddy John. We kind of got into it at the same time, was like video editing and stuff like that, and that's kind of where I kind of discovered the idea of like learning a skill set on the internet. There's so many softwares out there, and even with like Photoshop or Canva or Notion or whatever, like ClickUp, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, just be the expert and just own it. But yeah, he like kind of dove into being like a Premiere Pro, like video editor, and he was actually doing
cool.
really well. He pivoted and started his own company, but at the same time he was able to do video editing, to kind of support him, so support his like lifestyle or whatever. So
Nice.
super cool stuff. And I see people, man, like they're sad out there, and so maybe there's like different situations, but hey, man, you can go to the library. You can go to the library, and it's there's computers there. That's for free if you can't get a computer. But I think even nowadays computers are pretty affordable. You know what I mean? Like, if you're at a job that you hate, save up some money. I mean, even the new Apple MacBook is like relatively affordable. I mean, it's $1,000. Maybe I'm kind of kidding myself here and thinking that that's like affordable, but I mean, I had the one that I'm recording on right now. I've had it for 8 years. You know what I mean? Like, that's a pretty good return on my investment. You know what I mean? Spending $1,000 and then it lasting for 8 years, like not a bad investment. And
Sure.
so that's kind of where I'm at. But yeah, if you hate your job, like, shit, man, like, save up some money, and like, you can get free internet pretty much anywhere. And some places, like, you might have to buy a coffee. Coffee's like a couple bucks, but there's ways around it. There's definitely some ways around it. I'd like to dive into that and, I don't know, be some sort of like what is it, career coach for digital nomads or something. I don't know. Be cool.
Okay. Cool. This last one is, kind of obvious, but still fun, is Gmail. I mean,
Gmail.
hey,
Yeah,
it's free.
Let me hear your take on that.
Personal accounts are free, and a business account is $12 a month. So, I mean,
and that's like email, bro. Like, you kind of need it, right?
Kind of need it. Yeah, you can start off with a free one. It integrates with all these things. Google Hangouts is pretty terrible. So, but if you got to start there. It's not the end of the world.
Right.
I mean, Google Docs, Google Sheets. I mean, you're all probably using those things. They're all free too. So it's like, there's so much. I mean, I've never been a fan of Microsoft products, but now you have like Google Sheets, so you don't have to use Excel, and just stuff like that. So it's just like, it's crazy the amount of access and free resources that are out there that you can use. You can really run your business on like really small margins, real little overhead, not small margins. Ooh, little overhead.
Yeah, right.
Not very many expenses. How about that? Low expenses.
Low expenses. Yeah, like, I think that's where like Notion kind of helped us out, was like, having too many Google Docs and too many of this and slides and stuff. Like, I think that those things still come in handy, but we don't really have to have them because we have Notion. And this isn't being sponsored by Notion by any means. It kind of sounds like,
whenever you're ready, Notion, come on.
Yeah, whenever you're ready, like, let us know. So if all 3 of our subscribers signed up for Notion, all right, let's get a cut of that.
There we go. Some affiliate links coming at you.
Right. But yeah, no, Google's awesome. All the Google Sheets and stuff like that. I definitely think there's a use case for them. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah. Let's go get some chocolates.
Right. Yeah, right. Exactly. But what else you got?
Nah, that was it.
That's it. Cool, man. Um, so we kind of spun on the like what is it? Like business in a backpack and kind of just close it out. I think this is good timing. Um, but to close it out, I have a list that I got from Twitter, and it's 19 websites. Actually, this came from my buddy John, um, and so basically, it's websites to find remote slash freelance jobs. And so I'm going to list them off. Right, ready, set, go. Just Remote, Angel List, LinkedIn, Facebook groups, Reddit, Working Nomads, Remotive, Odesk Work, Flex Jobs, Fiverr, Upwork, Dribble, Freelancer, Indeed, Outsourcely, We Work Remotely, ProBlogger, Freelance Writing, and Remote. So there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Get on it.
Now you have all you need. You have your software that you need. You have kind of a direction, what you need, and then now you have which websites to go to then once you like build a skill, you go there and you can like build as you're like learning and getting paid at the same time. And so there you go.
Cool.
You're welcome. But cool. Yeah. I don't have anything else. Did you want to I don't know if you had another point, but we can just like call it a day.
That's it. Yeah.
Cool. Well, stay cool. Man, I used to have this thing that I used to say. Let me see if I can hurry up and remember it. It was yeah, so it's like at the end of like I don't say it anymore because I always forget. It's like be real, be cool, be real cool.